In his latest work, Professor Patterson captures the stunning shift between 1964, when American economic growth and prosperity had reached historic new highs, and 75% of Americans expressed high confidence in the federal government, to 1965, the year that saw a dramatic escalation in Vietnam, the violent response to civil rights marchers in Selma, Alabama, passage of the Voting Rights Act, Medicare and Medicaid, the assassination of Malcolm X, and the sudden rise of new and boisterous brands of popular music and artistic expression.
Introducing this, let me begin with a quotation, as I do in the book, from President Lyndon Johnson as he was lighting up the national Christmas tree in December of 1964. Johnson said, "These are the most hopeful times in all the years since Christ was born in Bethlehem. Today, as never before, man has in his possession the capacities to end war and preserve peace, to eradicate poverty and share abundance, to overcome the diseases that have afflicted the human race, and permit all mankind to enjoy their promise in life on this earth."
My fellow countrymen, on this occasion, the oath I have taken before you and before God is not mine alone, but ours together. Is our world gone? We say farewell. Is a new world coming? We welcome it, and we will bend it to the hopes of man. And to these trusted public servants, and to my family and those close friends of mine who have followed me down a long, winding road, and to all the people of this union and the world, I will repeat today what I said on that sorrowful day in November last year. I will lead, and I will do the best I can.
Brought to you by Polaroid, makers of the new Polaroid Color Pack camera at half the price of the original model. And by Old Gold filters, flavors that never came through a filter before. And by new Bravo floor wax, so tough you can wash it with detergent.
These innocent victims of the sharp cutting edge of the enemy's military action have learned they can turn to us for help, support, and security. And to the American serviceman, it is equally clear that the battles won with the sharp edge of our own blade are only a beginning. Ultimate victory in Vietnam will be won through the people, in the civic action that complements the military action through our determined and skillful use of the full blade.
We are clearly preparing for that ground war in Asia.
Not everyone is preparing for that ground war in Asia. Protest picket lines and meetings occur each week all across our land.
Student picketing of troop trains in the summer of 1965 was carried in newspaper headlines around the world.
When radioactive fallout drifts to the ground, it may look like very fine dust particles.
These particles are only dangerous to living things. This fruit would be perfectly safe to eat if you just peel it. In disposing of the peelings, remember that they may still contain radioactive material. Canned goods, bottles, or jars should be washed carefully before using. Scrubbing vegetables and peeling fruit makes the food perfectly safe to eat. Most inanimate things contaminated by fallout can be washed and used. Cut the danger of radioactive fallout. Learn what to do.
As of this year, more Americans live in suburbs than anywhere else. Westlake Village, 25 minutes on the freeway from downtown Detroit, is about average. Its advertisements say, the moment you turn into beautiful Westlake Village, you can expect a new world of exciting living. This is the good life. The shopping center is one of the phenomenons of suburbia. Wonderland has about 60 stores, a Ferris wheel, and does a $45 million business. Promotion manager Ernie Epp says Wonderland is the cultural and economic center of the area, like the old New England town square. The cultural activities include a Miss Wonderland beauty contest, the girls sponsored by Wonderland stores. The winners were chosen for hairdo, figure, poise, and personality. The MC, a local disc jockey called Swinging Sweeney.
I would like you to meet Miss Red Barn. Where do you work, dear?
I work for GE and I attend Ferris State College.
Where?
I'm working for GE right now.
Would you attend what?
Ferris State College.
Oh, goodness, where's that?
Big Rapids, Michigan.
Oh, all righty. And what are you going to end up being as?
I'm in pre-teaching, going into special education, working with retarded children.
It's very, very rewarding. Okay there, Diane Lee. Platt, right?
Carol.
Carol.
If culture is homeless in much of America, have heart. There's now the shopping center.
This is living? Some people don't think so. You don't, do you? You get to thinking, there must be a better way, a better something. So you take some independent action. You break away from the crowd, and you find something better, including a better cigarette, perhaps. Old Gold Filters, the cigarette for independent people. Old Gold Filters, a delicious mixture of rich tobacco flavors. Flavors that never came through a filter before. Flavors for you, not for the crowd, but for you. Old Gold Filters, the cigarette for independent people, with flavors that never came through a filter before.
This is Ned Brooks inviting you to Meet the Press.
Meet the Press, America's press conference of the air, and winner of every major award in its field, is a public affairs presentation of NBC News.
Our guest today on Meet the Press is Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr., who led the Civil Rights March from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. Dr. King, who is the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize, is president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. He is in San Francisco, where he delivered a sermon this morning for Bishop Pike at the Grace Cathedral. Our panel of reporters is in Washington, D.C., and we'll have the first question now from Lawrence E. Spivak, permanent member of the Meet the Press panel.
Dr. King, former President Truman was quoted by the AP as saying that the march from Selma, and this was his word, was silly and can't accomplish a darn thing except to attract attention. Now, there have been 2 murders, many beatings, and a federal expenditure for troops of about $300,000. Would you say that what the march accomplished was worth that cost?
Well, first I would say that the march was not silly at all. I would think that the march did more to dramatize the indignities and the injustices that Negro people continue to face in the state of Alabama and many other sections of the South more than anything else. I think it was the most powerful and dramatic civil rights protest that has ever taken place in the South, and I think it well justified the costs that we put in it. Now, of course, we're sorry that a death occurred immediately after the march, and I'm sure that all people of goodwill are outraged and in deep sorrow as a result of the death of Mrs. Liuzzo. But after all, we know in a nonviolent movement that there are these possibilities, and we go on with the faith that unmerited suffering is redemptive.
I was standing up there and the people started running. The black people were beaten, the dogs were hit, and I just turned around to see the folk and wondered why they were beating them so. And I just couldn't understand.
I just don't see how anybody can say that a man can fight in Vietnam, but he can't vote in the post office.
We are here and we are standing before the forces of power in the state of Alabama saying we ain't gonna let nobody turn us around.
You can wash it with detergents. At last. A floor wax so tough, you can wash it with detergents. It's Bravo, new from Johnson Wax. Bravo, so tough that...
You can wash it with detergents and it comes up shining? You're kidding. I am? Well, just you watch. Hey, that's strong stuff. Not strong enough to hurt my new Bravo floor wax. Stop, you'll ruin the shine. Oh, Bravo can take it. You'll see. There, see? You can wash Bravo with detergent.
It's beautiful. You don't have to re-wax every time.
Uh-huh. But if Bravo's that tough, how do you ever take it off? Easy. Look, it's specially made to come off with ammonia.
Say, I want this new Bravo.
Bravo, for a shine so brilliantly tough, you can wash it with detergents. Bravo, patent pending by Johnson Wax.
In the Miss USA beauty pageant, in order to further the cause of peace, justice, and mutual understanding, do solemnly dedicate ourselves to the highest ideals of sportsmanship, friendship, and goodwill among all the people of the United States and the universe.
And here come the most beautiful girls in the USA, arriving at Miami Beach, Florida for the 1965 Miss USA Beauty Pageant, after making personal appearances along Highway 301, the Miss Universe Highway. Beauties from all over the country arrive at Miami International Airport. Then to Miami Beach for official registration. After registering, the girls receive their pageant swimsuits in brilliant shades of green, pink, and turquoise. Next, they're fitted with white satin pumps. All the girls pose for official photographs in swimsuits and state costumes. First big event of the USA pageant is the opening ceremony at Miami's Bayfront Park Band Show, where the delegates appear in their colorful state costumes and bring gifts indigenous to their particular states for greater Miami dignitaries. Miss Nevada brings 50 silver dollars, says, "Sir, you hit the jackpot." Other gifts range from rainwater to T-bone steaks. Wearing a gold and diamond oil derrick, Miss Oklahoma brings a token from the Sooner State.
In any disaster, your livestock need protection too. In case of nuclear attack, radiation is as dangerous to animals as it is to people. A good animal shelter is a 2-story basement-type barn with a hay-filled loft. You can get better protection by piling hay along the sides of the building. This gives more shielding, and shielding cuts the radiation danger. There are many more farm facilities that can be adapted to serve as some kind of shelter. For detailed information, get your free copy of Your Livestock Can Survive Fallout. In an emergency, shelter your livestock, then take shelter yourself.
I speak to you as a fellow citizen of the United States of America, deeply concerned about the welfare of our beloved country. I am not here to tickle your ears, to entertain you. I will talk to you frankly and honestly. The message I bring is not a happy one, but it is the truth. And time is always on the side of truth. Truth must be repeated again and again, because error is constantly being preached round about. I realize that the bearer of bad news is always unpopular. As a people, we love sweetness and light, especially sweetness. I am sorry to say that all is not well in so-called prosperous, wealthy, and powerful America. We have moved a long way and are now moving further and more rapidly down the soul-destroying road of socialism. The evidence is clear, shockingly clear, for all to see. With our national prestige at or near an embarrassing all-time low, we continue to weaken our domestic economy by unsound fiscal, economic, and foreign aid policies which corrupt our national currency. With the crass, unconstitutional usurpation of power by the executive branch of the federal government, anti-spiritual decisions of the Supreme Court, all apparently approved by a weakly submissive rubber-stamped Congress, the days ahead are ominously frightening.